The Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Why the Gospel of Mary Magdalene was banned from the Bible. What if I tell you that there was a woman so close to Jesus that he told her things that even the disciples did not know about? You probably would not believe me. Well, it is true. This woman is Mary Magdalene. According to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, Jesus revealed a unique secret to Mary that she later shared with the disciples. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene is not just a religious text, but a profound exploration of spirituality and leadership that challenges long-held views on gender and authority within the early Christian community. The text's rediscovery invites us to reconsider what we thought we knew about one of Christianity's earliest and most enigmatic followers of Jesus. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene provides a unique perspective on the teachings of Jesus through the eyes of Mary Magdalene, one of his closest disciples. This gospel does not follow the traditional narrative format found in the canonical Gospels, but focuses on dialogues between Mary Magdalene and the other disciples after Jesus' resurrection. In these discussions, Mary shares insights and teachings she received from Jesus, emphasizing a more personal and direct understanding of spiritual truth. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene was discovered in 1896 as part of a larger cache of papyrus codices near Akhmim in Upper Egypt. These texts were part of what is now known as the Berlin Codex, which was purchased by a German scholar and brought to Europe for translation and study. The discovery of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene was significant because it provided scholars with direct evidence of the diversity of beliefs and practices within early Christianity. It highlighted the existence of different theological currents, such as Gnosticism, which offered alternative understandings of Jesus' teachings and the role of his followers. This gospel, in particular, shed light on the elevated status that Mary Magdalene held as a spiritual teacher, challenging the predominantly male-oriented leadership models of later Christian traditions. Why the Gospel of Mary was excluded from the Bible. The biblical canon was formed based on several criteria, including apostolic origin, consistency with other recognized scriptures, widespread acceptance, and use in liturgical practice. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene differs significantly in these aspects. It lacks clear apostolic attribution and presents theological ideas, particularly Gnostic concepts, which diverge markedly from the orthodox views established by early church leaders. Its format and content, focusing heavily on inner revelation and mystical experiences, also set it apart from the narrative and doctrinal style favored in the canonical texts. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene contains elements typical of Gnostic spirituality, such as the emphasis on personal spiritual knowledge and the idea of the soul's ascent through various heavenly realms, which conflicted with the more institutional and creedal direction of early Orthodox Christianity. Additionally, the text's portrayal of Mary Magdalene as a spiritual leader and visionary, and its implicit challenge to male authority in religious teachings, were likely contentious in a context where women's roles were becoming increasingly circumscribed by emerging church hierarchies. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene is estimated to have been written in the early 2nd century CE, although the exact date remains speculative. Theories about its authorship suggest it may have been written by a follower of Mary Magdalene or a Christian community that revered her as a central figure. This attribution, however, like many Gnostic texts, is pseudonymous and intended to lend authority to the teachings contained within by linking them to a prominent disciple of Jesus. The narrative of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene fits within the broader milieu of early Christian communities that were diverse in their beliefs and practices. During this period, various groups vied for theological legitimacy, each with its own interpretation of Jesus' teachings. The Gospel reflects themes popular among Gnostic groups who sought mystical experiences and deeper spiritual insights, as opposed to the emerging Orthodox Christian doctrine, which emphasized adherence to communal teachings and structures. While the New Testament Gospels focus on the life, teachings, crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene centers more on the aftermath of the resurrection and the spiritual teachings imparted to Mary Magdalene. Unlike the New Testament accounts, which portray Mary primarily as a witness to Jesus' resurrection, this gospel depicts her as a leader and teacher in her own right, imparting wisdom and guidance to the other disciples. In the canonical Gospels, Mary Magdalene is depicted primarily as a devoted follower who first witnessed Jesus' resurrection. In contrast, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene presents her as a visionary and leader, who not only has a profound understanding of Jesus' teachings, but also contends with and even corrects the male disciples. This portrayal suggests a more egalitarian view of leadership roles within the early Christian communities and highlights the potential conflicts over authority and gender that might have influenced the formation of the early church's structures and texts. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene offers profound spiritual insights that emphasize the importance of inner transformation and direct, personal experience of the divine. Mary's teachings in the Gospel advocate for introspection and spiritual evolution, suggesting that liberation from material concerns leads to a deeper understanding of one's true spiritual nature. This focus on internal rather than external observance marks a significant shift towards a more introspective spirituality that values personal revelation over institutional doctrine. In today's context, the spiritual teachings of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene resonate with contemporary movements that emphasize personal spiritual experience and the quest for meaning beyond material existence. The Gospel's focus on overcoming internal barriers and the importance of personal insight can be particularly appealing in a modern world often characterized by external validation and material success. These teachings encourage individuals to seek spiritual depth and authenticity in their personal and communal lives. While not considered canonical by mainstream Christian denominations, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene is highly valued in certain Gnostic and esoteric Christian communities. These groups draw on its teachings to emphasize the role of personal gnosis, knowledge, and spiritual enlightenment. The Gospel is also gaining interest among broader Christian audiences who are exploring feminist theology and reevaluating the roles of women in the history of Christianity. Mary Magdalene's connection to Jesus. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene portrays Mary not just as a disciple, but as a visionary leader with a special relationship to Jesus. It suggests that Jesus imparted knowledge to her that he did not share with the other disciples, indicating a level of trust and recognition of her spiritual capabilities. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene offers a captivating look at one of Christianity's most mysterious figures, presenting her as a wise teacher and spiritual leader. Its teachings on personal gnosis and the inner journey toward spiritual enlightenment provide a valuable perspective that complements the more outward-focused narratives of the canonical Gospels. As we reflect on the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, let us consider the broader implications of rediscovering and integrating such texts into our understanding of Christian history and spirituality. These alternative narratives not only enrich our spiritual heritage, but also challenge us to think deeply about the diversity of voices and experiences within the early church. They invite us to explore a more inclusive and holistic view of spirituality that recognizes the profound contributions of figures like Mary Magdalene. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Amen.